Looks like we have yet another situation with a translator here changing the context of Japanese IP to something that they deem more culturally appropriate here in the West. Sankaku Complex is reporting this headline. The house in Fata Morgana Western Release. Tsundere equals fragile male ego. Let's take a look. They say, while it will probably induce no surprise in those already acquainted with the agenda-pushing habits of localizers, it was recently divulged on Twitter that the English version of visual novel The House in Fata Morgana translates the word tsundere into fragile male ego, which is naturally not accurate in the slightest. The article then goes on to briefly describe what The House in Fata Morgana is, claiming that it is a visual novel that was released in English of 2016. Now, before we continue, I want to get a little more details on that. From the game's Steam description, we have a gothic suspense tale set in a cursed mansion. The House in Fata Morgana is a full-length visual novel spanning nearly a millennium that deals in tragedy, human nature, and insanity. Scrolling a little further through the store page, and you see part of the game description goes on to write that the maid invites you to join her on a journey. And, well, that's all I need to know about this game. It's unfortunate that some of the localizers might have messed it all up. And look at that, I even hunted down a little picture of the maid just for you. Alright, jokes aside, let's get back to the news. We left off on this segment that continues on to say, a vigilant individual spotted one of the game's translators making some rather enlightening statements on social media. I think we all know what they mean by enlightening, kind of a fill in the blank if you will. Goes on to state that the interaction began with a tweet from a person playing through the title and praising a moment where character Morgana addresses Jacopo's fragile male ego. Alright, now we get to look at some tweets. So we have this one account writing, this being the first thing said to Jacopo will never not be a thing of effing beauty. And posting a screenshot of the alleged scene right here. We have this character on screen who I presume to be Jacopo. And you got Morgana saying to him, why hello there. How's your fragile male ego holding up? You might be thinking to yourself, Hero, hey, how do you think that's Jacopo? Couldn't you just Google it and confirm if it is or not like you did with the whole maid thing? And I'd respond and say, well, yeah, I could, but who wants to Google some random dude? Much rather Google the maid. And I tell you what, if there's one thing that excites me more than a young lady dressed in a maid outfit, that's providing good business to good people. So, yeah, that is Jacopo. Apparently, he's like a young, greedy businessman or something like that. The article goes on to read, a translator for the game responded by mentioning that the original line had Morgana calling Jacopo a tsundere instead. And it explains what that means. We'll skip that. You all know what that means. But apparently, they thought it would be more fitting to just use a common insult that gets thrown toward any critic that dares disagree with a feminist, obviously referring to the whole fragile male ego thing. Apparently, this is what the translator had to say, responding to the tweet that we already read, where they were praising that scene and the whole fragile male ego line. So, they got this to say. Fun fact, in the Japanese, Morgana is calling him a tsundere here, and you have no effing idea how many brainstorming sessions it took over several weeks to come up with this translation. This was probably the very last line finalized in the script. We agonized over it for so long. Now hold on a second. Do me a favor here. Excite me a little bit. Let's talk business. Are you seriously telling me that it took you guys several weeks to come up with a translation for this scene? No, for this line of dialogue, specifically a way of changing tsundere. You could have just kept it. Who the heck is paying you guys? Could you imagine paying translators who end up taking a week or several weeks up of your time, your money, you're paying them as they're sitting there trying to think of how to change the word tsundere into something that fits their personal political agenda? You're kidding me, right? Who's actually paying for this crap? Oh my gosh, no. You've got to be kidding me. I go back to the Steam page. I look, developer, no Vectical. All right. And publisher, MangaGamer. Oh my god, this all makes sense now. MangaGamer is becoming infamous for having localizers and translators that really hate the anime community. I'm not kidding. They hate the anime community. I did a whole report on this before. There was a leak from their own Discord server, and not just from their Discord server, from private channels that the moderators were in said server, literally mocking and belittling their own consumers. Now, if you're not aware of that situation, I really do advise you to at least take a look at that video. Check it out. I mean, it's interesting stuff. The leaks are not like terrible. They're not saying the worst things you can imagine about the customers that they're supposed to serve and work for. It's just really immature and pathetic stuff. They're basically acting like they're the bourgeoisie and the customers are peasants. And these are even some of their own words. They literally put it unironically that they are sitting in a ivory tower mocking everyone below them. It was really bizarre stuff. It's so bizarre that you would think some of the stuff that they are saying is said as a joke. However, I think that they were very serious with what they said because actions speak louder than words. And you look at the actions of these localizers and they seem to, indeed hate the customers and even hate Japan so much that they sneakily change the IP to what agendas that they want to interject in the property. You don't do that sort of stuff if you like the IP. If you like what you're working on, you clearly wouldn't. What you would do is simply try to make as accurate a translation as possible because you want to keep the material true to itself because you like the material as it is. And you like the customers, you like the community, you want to provide them a good product. Not the case here. Not with MangaGamer. At least not how it seems. Sure makes me curious if Novectical is aware of the bad reputation that their publisher has. You know, as I'm sitting here thinking about this situation more and more, I'm starting to piece this puzzle together. There was also a second video I made, a follow-up situation on the leaks. And this was a situation where an ex-MangaGamer employee alleged quite a number of terrible business practices from MangaGamer, including very low wages that they pay their employees allegedly. Now, if MangaGamer is offering rates to developers like Novectical that are extremely low, and that's why they're getting business, it would all kind of make sense. And in this case, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? You're not getting great work done. These people, they don't like what they're doing. A lot of them really hate the consumer. Do you want to be working with people who hate your target market? Don't think so. Situation is particularly interesting, or rather any situation revolving around MangaGamer, because MangaGamer is actually a Japanese company. They just seem to employ a lot of localizers from the West as well, obviously, and those people don't do a great job. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, localizers from the West, who else would they employ? And I have a complete argument for that already. They should simply employ Japanese people who can speak English. Have them localize the content because they will keep the IP true to the Japanese IP, and they'll simply translate it so English-speaking and reading audiences can understand the IP as well. You'll have the translations without the Western agenda. Seems like a great way of going about things. I don't know why more Japanese companies don't do that. They are paying for these, they're paying for the expertise, so to speak, that they think these Western companies have, or in this case with MangaGamer, a Japanese company employing Westerners. It turns out the Westerners they are employing, though, they're the type that they don't have that expertise that they think they have. If you don't know what I mean by expertise, in this case, I'm referring to Japan thinking that these Westerners know what other Westerners want. They are in touch with the Western demographic, the Western audience, and they know what Westerners want. Except that's not the case. This is a scenario where they already have the perfect solution. Don't fix what's not broken, right? We like the product the way it is. You don't need to change it for the West. Just translate it. Translate it so we can understand what the IP is all about, keeping it the original context I already said. We don't need to continue on with this one, I suppose. Kind of went off on a rant here. My apologies. Let's get back to the article. The article goes on to say, when asked why the original line wasn't kept in the script, the translator delivered the usual cut and paste response of, it depends on several factors. I've used Tsundere before in other projects, and a different approach was most fitting. The translator's decision was, of course, praised by others who worship the idea of altering a work's source material for the glory of feminism. Let's take a look at some of these tweets. Many people have attempted to translate Tsundere, and this is the first time. Oh my god. I couldn't even read that one without laughing. Holy smokes. Many people have attempted to translate Tsundere, and this is the first time. They make it sound so epic. Many people have attempted, failing every time. This is the first time in history. I'm being hyperbolic here. That's how I read it, though. It's, wow, okay. This is the first time anyone has even come close to finding something good. This is the way. It's an excellent line and translation choice. Oh my gosh, and this one. Brilliant with the really excited emoji. So cringy. Seriously, nice job. And thanks for your service. Yeah, jeez. I don't even need to say anything about this, dude. As noted by one critic, it is wondered what exactly the translator would call a female tsundere. That's a great question. If they thought that the context needed to be changed for the West, wouldn't it also have to be changed even if the roles were reversed here? So let's see the comments on that one. There's the tweet. Now let's see how they translate tsundere when said to a female, and you get some responses. Strong female mindset. Yeah. Yeah, get it? Because I mean, I'm sure you all get it, but just in case, I know we went on a little rant there. If you forgot the original context, they had changed tsundere to what was it? Weak male mindset, well, fragile male ego. There we go. So they would change that. Okay, you get the joke. I don't know why I'm sitting here explaining it to you. Continuing on. This happened with Chunibyo, is our world is ended. Male Chunibyo called man baby. Female Chunibyo, nothing insulting. It's legal to insult woman. Translators have their hands tied. And that's the end of their article. Wow, this video ended up being a little bit of a thing. I didn't expect to find that MangaGamer correlation right in the middle of this video. That kind of broke the flow up a little bit. My apologies for the tangent and the rants and the randomness once we found that information. Just the way it ended up, though. Hopefully you still enjoyed this video. Maybe you enjoyed it more so for that. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please thumbs this video up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe if you like this channel, if you like the work that we're doing here, and you're not subscribed yet. In that case, subscribe. And if you are subscribed already, might consider hitting that notification bell. Be much appreciated. And a special thanks to the kind people who promoted yesterday's video over on Twitter. We got Mr. Anime343, DXDKJ, Shogun, Amzranon, Henry, Eza, Taco Master, A, Mark, Burgot, Phantom R, Intimidator0108, Ice Cream is Just an Illusion, Dinosaur King, Chaotic Keyblade, Striker R, On the Brain, Baku Girl, and Koden, Midoriya X. Thank you all once again. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.